Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into game one. It took a little bit to get everything situated, but we are getting straight into this with Knockout Knights versus Thestrals. Game number one, we are going to be seeing best of three between these members, with Faldoma's point of view starting us off with Extreme Butter getting knocked out right off the bat, but so did Ludo down. He went down with the team. There we go. We watch Extreme Butter not only get bludger hit, but taken down Fu as well, taking a score for the Thestrals early at 10-0 lead here. Quite a start already. We'll go ahead and switch POVs. Actually, it doesn't look like... Oh, we do. We'll have Extreme Butter from the Thestrals side. I'm just waiting for his stream to be able to load here. There we go. We'll switch sides now. Looks like his point of view is a little bit laggy, so we'll make sure that we fix this for you guys here. And we'll change the volume down just a little bit on this. Seeker gameplay will be a little bit rough from Thestral's point of view there. We'll stick right now from the Knights' smooth gameplay. Right now we're watching Faldoma. A bit of a beater highlight right now as it's 10-10. Watching Faldoma trying to influence the Seeker battle. He already was able to take down Extreme Butter once, but there he goes with some beater pressure, taking down Yene. 20-10 right now as we see a score in the background from the Knockout Knights. Early leads, a lot of quaffle gameplay is happening from both sides. This isn't really heavy defense, it's heavy offense we're seeing. We'll go ahead and take a look. As you see here, we have a bunch of views coming from the Knockout Knights. I love Knockout Knights and the Knockout squads in general for gracing us with a lot of them whenever they go live. They enjoy showing off their gameplay and giving me the multiple perspectives. Obviously, having this up all at once is overwhelming for anyone to keep track of, so we're going to switch it back over the one point of view over to Nemesis right now. Nemesis on
This game
Chaser.
seems super even till now, like Chaser-wise and Seeker-wise, and I like this a lot.
Watching Fu in the background as Faldoma falls to Yene. A little bit of that beater pressure from Yene, taking it off of Faldoma. We'll go ahead and see real quick if it's any better on Extreme Butter's end. Taking a look at his frames there. This is just from our perspective. I'm certain that he's doing better on his end.
We see Tegrity one hit there, I feel like.
Yeah, we'll switch over to Tegrity's point of view as he is low as well. There we go, going from the choppy to smooth. There we go, and there we go, Tegrity falls. Yene able to get another kill on him. We'll switch over, see Nemesis point of view. Put a little bit more Chaser gameplay going from both sides. We watch Oof in possession currently, and as I was telling the casters before, Oof is a add-on to the roster. He was a part of Hazy Dementors, but when Hazy disbanded, he had joined to the Thestrals, so it's interesting to see how he performs on this team. Seeing the attempt there.
Even though they're leading by 10 points right now, Knockout Knights have to apply pressure on the Seeker quick, otherwise this game turns around in no time when they get to Snitch.
There we go, and we watch another 40-20, another goal right now from Death Comrade, as the Seeker gets close to the Thestrals being able to catch Extreme Butter right there at about 95%. Interesting to watch how Oof has been holding the quaffle a lot of the time for Thestrals. And he's been able to try and add that quaffle pressure as he goes in for another score. Currently 40-30, 10-point difference, but the Snitch is leading in favor of Thestrals. We'll go ahead and take a look again real quick at Extreme Butter's point of view as he's currently fighting this Seeker battle. We'll go ahead and split screen this. I know it's a little laggy on the right-hand side for Extreme Butter's view. I'm hoping it's more so that it's just the Discord stream lagging and that he's not having to face this. He's down to 2 HP right now, 100% on the Snitch meter, but he does fall to Death Comrade. We watch on the left-hand side as Tegrity is going into this. He also gets hit, but he is going close, nearly at the 100%, 50-30 both sides. The Snitch catch will be huge, but it needs to go in favor of Thestrals if they want to be able to win this. Down to 1 HP, Tegrity is still getting hit side after side, and with it being only one, a single Chaser, there we go. We watch a Disc Jockey take him out. And on the right-hand side, we're watching Extreme Butter in enemy territory, trying to get back to his 100% that he lost beforehand. A dodge of the bludger. He's getting back to the 100%. We see the Snitch meter get to that 100% meter by the outline, and Extreme Butter taking the catch, bringing Thestrals into 60 points, 10-point difference per side.
That was a pretty close match, and first of all, like Thestrals were 100%, and then he died, and then Knockout Knights were 100%, and he died again. And I love the pressure from both sides here. It's super amazing to see.
I'm definitely glad to also see that both Seekers, even though the other Seeker had went down, were not out of the race. It was anyone's game going into this. And Thestrals with another Quaffle goal in there, currently up by 20 points. They only need one more score to get the extra snitch insurance for the second snitch. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this match. Currently, we're seeing a lot of a battle right now from bumps and survivability from Tegrity. We're just kind of watching to see if he falls once more, going down to 4 HP.
We just see Tegrity a lot behind Extreme Butter here. I'm not sure if he's playing more range points, but if he's not, then this shouldn't end good for him.
Yeah, we see as he goes around trying to navigate this, he does heal to full health. We'll take a look at the other point of views here, looking over at Faldoma, who's also chasing after the Seeker. Extreme Butter in the red. Neither team can get a break from Seeker. Both pressure is strong from Faldoma and Yene on Beater. We see right now the hunt is on as Extreme Butter's in the red. When anytime people see red, there's blood in the water, and like a shark, he comes after him. Extreme Butter falling, giving the extra lead right now to Tegrity on side of Knockout Knights. There's less than 20 seconds left in this match now. Getting close to that second snitch catch is going to be anyone's game here. But if they were able to stall him, they could get the win, but they don't have enough time. Tegrity getting the second snitch catch in the last 16 seconds. 10-point difference right now. If you're on the side of the Thestrals, you need to put a Quaffle goal in, and it gets kicked away. They don't get the keeper goal. They only have 10 seconds left on the timer. I don't think there's enough time here in order to get their catch. We're watching as the time ticks down. Oof going into it. Last couple seconds. 3, 2, 1. The kick comes out and saves them. Well played from both sides there. Game 1 going a 10-point difference and could have went into overtime with a simple change there, but well played on Stoner with that last save. Going into that, I know a lot of people with the predictions were siding in favor of the Knights. I don't think a lot of people expected it to be as close as it was. We'll go straight to Shockey on the analyst desk. How are you feeling after that matchup?
Actually, after that matchup, I thought it was a lot closer than originally anticipated. I think the pickup for Oof for the Thestrals was a really good pick. He is very good on the chaser game. There seemed to be some issues as far as his stream. I think maybe that just has to do with uh, streaming to Discord, trying to do 60 FPS. But honestly, the one thing that I noticed for their gameplays is I did notice that Tegrity, it looks like he had a lock-on bump rather than just a free bump. So it's possible that he's running like a 442 or a 424, something like that. And I think if he's going to be playing those homing bumps, he may have to play a little bit closer to the snitch. I think that was one of the major problems that he had during the first snitch chase, which allowed Extreme Butter to catch that first snitch. And maybe if he did, it would be just locked out the game a little bit sooner rather than going so close to the end of the game.
And then going to Bearman, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it was a good first match. I noticed a few technical slip-ups from Tegrity on the first catch. When we saw the back and forth between the Seekers going down, there was a little bit of losing the snitch, I think, or maybe just trying to avoid the keeper. And I think that may, if they hadn't, like, it nullified Butter going down for 10 seconds. The time lost increasing the meter. So seeing small things like that corrected for the Knights, and then Thestrals, I think overall just kind of try to carry that momentum from game 1 into 2, and then also there again refinement. It looked pretty good, but you just need to kind of hone it in just a little bit further.
Very well said. And lastly, Tux, wrap us up here.
I mean, the chasing game was super close. We saw that. Same for the Seeker. For Tegrity, I'm pretty sure he's playing at least 3 points in range since he's so far away. His way of playing, I think a 5-5-0 would favor him more if he's playing that far away and just more survival. But nonetheless, yeah. Either play closer, maybe, as Shoki said already, when you have bumps, or switch build to something far away. I think both works for him here.
Alrighty, well said. We're going to go ahead and see the Seeker battle right now as far as both sides are concerned for Beater and Seeker Analytics. I know a lot of people like that. We're switching over right now. Taking a look, we're seeing Knockout Knights on the left-hand side, and that's going to be Faldoma and Tegrity. And then on the right-hand side, on the Thestrals, we'll be seeing Yane and... Why am I drawing a blank? The Seeker on Thestrals. Extreme Butter. That's
Extreme
what
Butter.
it is. Thank you. All right, looking at both sides, kind of what stands out to me first is it was a low tackle game with only 4 tackles coming out on the side of Faldoma out of 13 attempts of untargeted. And then on the side of Yene, 3 out of 17 of those tackles landing. So lots of just bludgers, I feel like, were more of the gameplay from both of the sides instead of tackles, or at least less tackle heavy than what we've seen in previous matches. Looking at the bludgers, we're looking at 29 summoned and 28 very close on there, both throwing as well, 26 to 23 boosted, both around the same. As far as the beaters are concerned, they played really equally, and that kind of shows a little bit from how the game was, how close it was from both sides. Looking at the Seekers, snitch rings pretty equal, snitches caught and found was equal as well, bump attempts to successful bumps. This is the metric that you like to see and see how this actually impacted the game a little bit. 8 bumps were attempted on the side of Tegrity, but only 3 of those landed, whereas on the right-hand side, Extreme Butter threw out 14 attempts, 7 of those landed. And then stuns a little bit more over on the side of Knockout Knights, so Yane doing a better job getting those stuns. 4 of those were bludgers, and then out of the 7 that were thrown on the other side, 2 bludger hits out of 9 that were thrown. So definitely some good stats there to kind of look at, kind of see what happened behind the scenes between the Beater and Seeker battle. We'll go to Bearman. What kind of stands out to you as far as these go?
The accuracy here on the bumps, you know, Thestrals have the higher numbers here. It's right there in front of you. Solid 50% accuracy on those, and then just more. There's more on that side. I think there was a lot of success there with the first, or with the snitch catch that they had in regards to that. And then yeah, really, like you had mentioned, really low tackle numbers here from both beaters.
And Shockey.
Yeah, I just noticed that their survivability for both Seekers was pretty low. I'm wanting to see a little bit more survivability when it comes to the Seeker gameplay. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit harder to do unless they switch up some of those builds.
Faldoma is letting me know. There we go. I was muted in Discord for a moment. That the stats are slightly off. I know he said that he got 2 silver medals for kills, so maybe an extra kill on Seeker and Beater there. But stats have been something I've tried to improve on in the production value. But take them with a grain of salt ultimately, as what happens in the end of the game is what matters most. I'm working on the stats, and we'll see and make sure that this gets properly set up for in the future here. We're going into a match number 2. Let me take a look here. There we go. We're going to be taking a look straight off Faldoma's point of view. There we go. Get that maximized view screen now for you guys. You can see all of the people in the top left as that Discord overlay. That's from Faldoma's point of view. Lots of people are excited. A lot of people are in there cheering for them. They have coaches as well. So whenever people are playing, they're able to kind of see a little bit more about what's going on from an overlook view and dedicate that time to sharing with their team what's happening. We'll go ahead and get that scoreboard up there as well for you guys. I forgot to set that back up for you guys. There we go. Now you guys have it on screen. 0-0 currently. Knockout Knights versus Thestrals. Game number 2. Death already happened for the Thestrals Extreme Butter Seeker. And we'll see right now the lead going in favor of Tegrity. With a little bit of changes to some settings, I was able to let Extreme Butter know to go down to 720 at 30 FPS. So we will be seeing a better gameplay from Seeker Battle now on that front. Oof, with the first 10 points there going to Thestrals. Switching over real quick, seeing Extreme Butter's smooth gameplay now. Taking a look as it's getting close. He did fall once, just trying to see a little bit of that survivability as we watch Tegrity fall. So this gives Extreme Butter a good time to be able to catch up, see what he can change, make sure that he's able to get the lead and stop dying ultimately. We'll see a little bit of a, we see Extreme Butter down there low. We'll split the views real quick. You see Faldoma on the left, and you'll see Extreme Butter on the right. As Faldoma hunts him down, you can see what is in the eyes of a Seeker. How can he try and evade the beater? Does he even see the beater? And so we'll kind of watch that front real quick. Extreme Butter doing a good job, able to get the regen out there, and Faldoma's getting a little bit of action on him and able to fall, keeping Extreme Butter alive. Well played from Yanni there. Watching the Quaffle gameplay being this close so far is definitely interesting to see as well, knowing that it was so close last time, and this time it's definitely a little bit more of a Thestrals holding onto the Quaffle, not allowing attempts to be scored on their side. Faldoma knocking out Extreme Butter though. We watch another one fall. We'll go ahead and switch point of views over to Stoner as the captain of the Knights. We'll switch, there we go, as the keeper as well. He's been a nice job brick walling, trying to get as much as he can out there, sending it out to Captain Carnage, a little bit of a warp speed as his stream is a little laggy as well there. We'll take a look at Tegrity, seeing how the secret battle is going for him.
It does feel like a more controlled start here on game 2. Game 1 was a bit more rapid in the first couple minutes for both teams.
Especially if you think about that, we're 3 minutes in the game and only one goal happened.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like last round both teams noticed, okay, Snitch is the deciding factor here. No one can like dominantly win on the Quaffle game that much, and maybe they just focus a little bit more on that, and that could be a reason why we didn't sell as much goals here.
Oof was able to get a score in the background as well, leading Thestrals currently 20 points. This is definitely a little bit of a different game that we're seeing compared to last time. And there we go. We see the fall from Extreme Butter's point of view, and we see the fall from Tegrity. Both teams from keepers and beaters have been able to bring down these Seekers, and we watch both of them fall at the same time. We'll take a look real quick at Extreme Butters while I switch POVs on the other side real quick. We're seeing the point of view from Captain Carnage, who we also haven't seen a whole lot on the Chaser front. Taking a look at his point of view, he's going a little bit more defensive, it looks like. He's going after these Seekers, trying to play a little bit more defensively and not necessarily going after just a Quaffle. We see Stoner with a kick out right there. Extreme Butter still nice and healthy, able to dodge all of these, but Oof is in possession again. If they let this slip, Oof is going to be able to get past once again and has that score right there. Oof with another score. This leads us 0-40 now. Taking a look back at Faldoma real quick as Extreme Butter falls there. Well played from both sides beaters, being able to kill consistently, but it still needs to show how much survivability the Seeker needs to have. Tegrity is in the red if you look in the bottom left. He's starting to heal up now. Very close from both sides. We're 2 minutes left on the match, and there's not a single snitch catch.
At this point, they need the snitch. Like Knights need the snitch to win this year. They're down 40 points. This is more than snitch insurance. So score and get the snitch is like the only chance that I see right here.
Oof with another point. That's currently a 50-point difference. Even with the snitch catch, they need to step up their Chaser front. We'll go ahead and switch. Go ahead, Bearman.
I was just going to say, definitely pulled too far back off on the Chaser game here, I think.
We'll go ahead and take a look as it's closing in again on the Seeker race. Extreme Butter's getting pretty close here. We'll go ahead and switch over Tegrity as well on the left-hand side, just as he freezes. We'll go ahead and give that a second refresh. And then we see in the distance as well, Disc Jockey getting another score. This is 60 points to Thestrals. We're seeing a different game here. As Tegrity falls to the keeper's hands, Extreme Butter getting close to that 100% on the snitch meter. Not that they need it because they're already ahead by 60 points, but this is going to secure the victory and guarantee the win as he gets that catch right there. Thestrals.
Extreme Butter got completely scammed on the first catch. He pressed like the button, had the lock on, and then he got yeeted away in midfield.
This is a lot different than what we've seen before. This is a Thestrals shutout going into this 90-0. They are wanting to go to game 3, and they are going to make it a difference. They're going to prove themselves as Fu puts in the nail in the coffin. 100-0, Thestrals, game number 2.
I just say I expected much, but not this.
Shockey, the king of knowing what happens where and knowing on the analyst desk how the switch-ups change things and what they needed to change. What shined for you this match? What showed?
Honestly, I think both Seekers were still dropping a lot, obviously, with the keeper kicks, with the beater eliminations. We saw them fall many, many times. But the one thing that I did notice for Extreme Butter is that he was getting a lot more meter. So I think he's definitely running something closer to like a 5.50. I didn't notice any homing bumps coming from Extreme Butter, and he was playing a lot more like distance from the snitch rather than Tegrity, who is playing a little bit closer. And unfortunately, the one thing also that maybe this is just me, if I'm Extreme Butter, if I'm Tegrity, I'm turning off the focus cam for at least a little bit. Zoom out, see what's around you to try to increase your survivability factor.
Well said, Ellen Behrman.
Yeah. I'm a little floored actually. Sorry, I'm caught off guard.
You guys left him speechless.
The Quaffle game drastically different in this game. That's kind of where my focus has been. I mean, take the snitches out, it's still, 40-0.
Yeah, definitely a lot more one-sided than we've seen beforehand, and they're showing that they're strong and that the game one was just them feeling out knockout nights a little bit. And Oof as well, scoring so many on that
Yeah.
Quaffle front. Oof was definitely a highlight there. I believe he got the plat medal. I'm not able to see because they're out of the game now.
No, I think he scored 3 and Fu scored the last one.
Fu scored the
What?
last one.
Right.
Okay.
No, wait, no, they had more. Never mind.
They had 100 points. It was
There
100 to
there
0.
was there only one
Is
snitch?
there only one snitch?
There was only one snitch, I believe.
Oh.
Oh, my mistake. Drastically different Quaffle game. That's 70 then.
Yep.
Yeah.
7 goals total then. I think Oof did get his plant medal there. I think Disc Jockey got one and I think Fu got one.
Yeah, forgot the last one, and then yeah, could be.
Well, this is definitely going into a game number 3. I'm going to give you guys a water break as they get ready into game 3. Both teams are getting all of their strategies together, figuring out, okay, we won one game each, we lost a game. We need to learn from what we did wrong in the game that we lost and capitalize on what went right in the game that we won. So they're going to take a moment. I'm going to give you guys a moment while these ads run as well, for that way they don't happen mid-game. I'll see you guys in just a moment when they get back in the queue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting into game number 3 of Knockout Knights versus the Thestrals. Going straight into this, we'll be taking a look at both of the POVs. We'll take a look first at Mr. Death Comrade. Once it loads, there we go. Now you guys can see that Mr. Death Comrade. There we go. As Fu puts in a first shot, Thestrals coming out hot already, making sure that they show that game number 2 wasn't a fluke. We have Death Comrade's a wide view right now, so you're able to see everything. He has a wider POV than most. I think he's playing on like a more stretched res monitor. So my normal scoreboard overlay doesn't work when I'm on his screen, but I'll have it up in just a second as we switch POVs. I just wanted to highlight a little bit more of the player that we didn't get to see a whole lot. And it's because of his screen was kind of messing up stuff on the scoreboard. Seeing Fu though going in again, trying to get another shot. We'll take a look over at Ludo, another chaser right now, and we'll pull up his scoreboard for you guys as we get into this matchup. There we go. Knockout Knights and Thestrals both 1-1 in this best of 3 series. Snitch meter is pretty close as well, and 10 points in the first minute going to Thestrals. We're watching from the point of view of Ludo down, one of the chasers on the Knockout Knights, as Oof goes in for another shot, but it was saved by the Stoner, Captain Keeper himself. Little bit of dodging and weaving from Ludo right now, trying to make sure that he's evading all of these chasers, but he burned a dodge before the Keeper and wasn't able to get a nice shot. It was a nice save from Gutera. We'll switch over, take a look at how the Thestrals are doing here over on Extreme Butter's point of view. The Seeker gameplay has been really close both times, so we want to make sure that we're seeing some changes from both of these fronts. But oof, putting in another goal there. Stoner has had trouble trying to save these goals left and right. We'll switch over real quick, take a look at Faldoma's point of view. Has the Quaffle in hand, holding it for the hero kick, but the Seekers are heading out. Doesn't quite get what he wanted in that front. Watching the score right here, he's sending out the play caller rings, trying to switch it up for his team, and Nemesis you watch from the point of view of play caller rings, sinking in a one-timer, making it a 20-10. We'll go ahead and switch back over real quick, get you guys back on some views of both players, get the scoreboard back up running so that way you guys can see it properly. And it's nice to see that the Knights have put in a shot on goal. We're able to get at least some score on the scoreboard after that 100-0 loss. But top right, we watch Tegrity fall. And right now, with the 30 points on Thestrals to 10 points on Knights and the lead with Extreme Butter on the Seeker, this could be another stomp if they get this. We'll switch over Seeker views on both sides, watching right side being Extreme Butter on the Thestrals, left side being Tegrity on the Knights. Tegrity already down. He had just died. He's back up, but he's only got 6 HP. He needs to stay alive, let that regen happen, and get some bumps in. As Extreme Butter is getting closer to his 100%, the bumps need to be there to steal that meter. There's one bump. Well seen there. We see the dodge coming in, and as the snitch is bouncing around, Nemesis in the background scores another one for the team, going 20-30. Both teams within a 10-point difference. Seeker can go to literally anyone right now as we watch both teams getting harassed. Both Seekers trying to stay alive as Tegrity is trying to get to that 100%. Extreme Butter is close to 100%. We see the snitch meter have that click button for him for just a moment, but he's being knocked off. He's getting bumped. He's getting tackled. And Tegrity falls on the left-hand side. Extreme Butter also down to 3 HP. Really low, but that 100% is coming back out, and he will have that mark. He just reaches out his hand. He needs to have a moment where he can click. The Keeper comes out, he dodges away, and off of the wall, he doesn't get the click either. Tegrity is back up, and the bump needs to come out from him as that 100% is out there. The tackles come out, he loses meter. Extreme Butter not able to capitalize on the loss of Tegrity. The bludgers are coming out from both sides. It hits Extreme Butter. Extreme Butter's down to 1 HP. Tegrity's almost at the 100% himself. Extreme Butter needs to gain the points up, but Extreme Butter falls by Faldoma. Tegrity at the 100% now with a clear bludger, giving him an extra little boost going into it, able to secure a great snitch catch. 50-50, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the match.
I think that was the greatest comeback of Seeker that we saw in the league so far. That was wild. I think Extreme Butter got tackled the moment before he catched 4 or 5 times in a row. That was
Background though, Disc Jockey able to send another point onto the Thestrals board, making it 60 to 50, 10-point difference right now, leading in favor of the Thestrals. Snitch insurance is needed right now from both sides, but Thestrals is securing it so far, making sure that no matter how the snitch goes, they want to be able to try and get that in a safe area where Extreme Butter, as much as they want him to catch it, in case something happens like that again, where everything's out of their control and both Seekers are falling, that they have that little safety Butter. They have Oof going in right now towards Stoner. Stoner trying to save a goal. We watch Ludo with the save right there, actually able to go and make sure that he uses one-timer defensively. This is why I like to mention, even if you're a defensive chaser, having one-timer is not just for offense. Having that defensive block to kind of fill in that hoop when it comes your way really helps your seeker, and not your seeker, your keeper. We watch as Oof, though, taking back possession with Fu. We see a lot of the pass play between Fu and Oof, but Fu goes down right in front of the hoops. Oof trying to get a score, but Stoner with a save. This is currently going into the last minute on the mark. Both snitches are pretty close, with Thestrals leading Extreme Butter slightly, just a little bit, but we know that doesn't matter at all with how volatile this Seeker gameplay has been. Less than a minute on the clock now. Extreme Butter in the lead. We'll see if he's able to secure the second snitch. It's going to come down to whoever catches a snitch is going to get the lead. We see a scam right there come out as Ludo tries to get the steal on Oof, but it doesn't go in his hands. Oof does not get the score though, as Stoner takes the block. A bump goes out. We see the tackle damage go out there. We're going to be seeing another side-by-side gameplay between these players as we're watching how close this is from both sides. We're going to be going back to split view real quick as we see 3 health on Extreme Butter. We're watching Integrity getting close to that 100%. He needs a snitch catch, and there it is. 80 to 60. 25 seconds left on the match. Not enough time for 2 quaffle goals to go in, but well fought from either side.
Yeah, we saw so much more pressure from the Knockout Knights this round. And yeah, in terms of snitch game, they played it so much better than the last rounds. Also, they defended better and like scored too, which ultimately, yeah, these 2 scores were pretty important for them here. Otherwise, they could have won at the end still, and it would just be a draw. So I'm happy to see that they didn't get completely stomped again on the chaser game.
And we'll go straight into Shocky. How you feeling? Match set going to Knights.
Well, obviously the Knights play very well together. Obviously they had a small stumble during one of the games, but luckily they were able to pull that back together and come out on top. As we've seen the Knights come against other teams that had a loss as well. I think I think they played a very good game, especially with their lineup. They changed their strategy when they needed to. They made sure that when they needed to handle the quaffle game, they were handling the quaffle game as best they could. When they needed to handle Seeker, they handled the Seeker as best they could. And ultimately, they came out with a win.
I'm Bearman.
Not feeling too bad. If I'm Thestrals right now, I should be pretty happy, especially that third game still, even though we're coming out with the loss here. If you take the snitches out, you're looking again at a 60-20 score line in their favor. And so chaser work tonight looking pretty solid from the Thestrals. Knights did a really good job coming back in game 3, correcting things that kind of went wrong for them in game 2, of course, and should be pretty happy taking the win away here.
And Tux, close us out.
I'm just saying I'm really surprised by how good the Thestrals played here today. Obviously the Knights did good too, but I expected that more. So I just want to point that out more. Yeah, that was a hell of a game. That was very close. If you take out the second game, of course. But all the other games were very close, and the snitch fights were super intense with good pressure from both sides. And yeah, that was a very good game.
Now, if you're looking at the sides from Thestrals right now, they took the game very dominant second game. What did they do so well that changed up that second game to allow them to be so dominant that didn't quite go their way in the third game?
I mean, obviously I'm not sure. I feel like their mid chaser quaffle pressure, like the chasers in the midfield, was just so dominant, and they just had consistent pressure on the keeper, so that the keeper couldn't kick. so that the chasers were forced to defend the whole time. Otherwise, they would get like 100 scored just by Quaffle. And I think all of that just pulled everybody away from Extreme Butter, away from the Snitch game. And then at the end, they could focus on the last couple tackles, and that just won them the game.
And Shocky, anything else that you'd like to say about this matchup?
Honestly, I think both teams played very well. They showed exactly what they were about. Obviously, the Thestrals coming out with a absolute dominating game in game 2. Unfortunately, they just could not keep that same energy for the game 3 to come back for a 2-1 victory against. But I think they're going to take this. They're going to take this loss. They're going to go through, look at their footage, and say, okay, what did we do the best in the second game, and how do we implement that going forward?
Very nice. Well, we got Stoner in here, and I know that a lot of my interviews I was doing at the preseason, I was kind of getting to know the teams, and I plan on doing a lot of interviews towards the end of the season. But I also got Stoner in here, not only because he asked, but because that was a really close match. And I'm going to let Bearman lead this interview because in the future, Bearman over on the Bearman Talks is going to be doing more post game interviews looking at League 7 matches in the future. So, Bearman, we got Stoner in here. What would you like to say?
Yeah. So first of all, how are you guys feeling there?
I just finished saying great game to Butter on the Thestral side. Fantastic stuff, man. We were just both of us, the captains. We were both sweating like crazy. Great games. It was insane. I loved it. Like my heart is beating in my throat. Oof. Did you guys see that?
Oof.
Oh yes.
What
Oof
a
was able to
what a
get past you a
player,
lot.
man. Like I know him now.
He put his mark
it was
on the
wonderful.
table for you.
Yeah, it was insane because like in the first game we kind of were introducing each other to each other, you know. Second game he had my number. He had me on speed dial. Several
He
times I went to go catch them and it was like I was there. I swear I was there. But such is life, such is the game. Game 2, they had us so down. Once it hit 90, I said, okay, cool, game 3. And I just stood to the side, let that game finish up. I talked to my team. I says, what's up? What do we change? Because once it gets to that point, yeah, you can fight and, you know, get that last block and drag along the game. But if it's done, and you know it's done, you move on.
That last
Sure.
block.
I gotta give my whole team a shout out though. Like honestly,
Say, I want to
Nemesis,
mention.
Carnage, Ludo, Tegrity, Faldoma, the kills. It was insane. DC, just the whole crew.
The whole crew did well, but I also want to mention during a game 1 in the last couple seconds, tied game, Oof was able to try and score on you guys to try and even up things, but you had kicked it out of his hands in a way to allow the game to end right then and there.
That last goal there, oh my goodness. I don't know if you saw it, but it was 3 separate things that all of us had to do to get that to go right. The only reason I was able to get the kick on Oof was because Faldoma threw a bludger and I noticed he lost his dodge.
Lots of teamwork
Because he
there.
didn't have a dodge, I was able to kick him. If Faldoma didn't throw the bludger exactly at that time, if the tackle fumble didn't happen exactly at that time, it was a 3-tiered defense at the last bit on that game.
Would you say you guys have been practicing plays like that pretty frequently then?
No, I wish. Actually, this is the first time that
Don't we
we've
all?
gotten a full 6 stack together in the past 2-3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
The Knights have just been getting practice in every once in a while with the rest of the knockout teams. Shout out to those guys. It helps to have friends. But yeah, fantastic stuff. And I gotta give a MVP shout out to Tegrity, of course, for catching the snitches. But Nemesis also went out of his way. He really did a ton of practice for these matches, and it shows. It really does.
For sure. And then I also know that going after game 2, that was a hard loss. What did change up going into game 3?
Well, because luckily we had people sitting there for analysis, we were able to figure out this, then this. We of course figured out that Oof was a big problem, specifically for me, so we got a little bit more focus on him. Game 2 was a real eye opener as far as knowing when to swap, because of course there's always a chaser game versus a seeker game, and game 2 was all chaser game. If we had driven a little bit harder on chaser game, we may have been able to get some stuff, but 3-4 misses. Like, we got the quaffle over there, but it was just pressure was put on by that keeper.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
How do you pronounce it? The
Gutera?
Gutera.
I'm guessing.
Gutera put a lot of pressure on my team. Great job.
And Behrman, any last
And,
remarks that you'd like to ask?
That's what we changed. We put a little bit more pressure on the chaser game. Faldoma was made aware of who to specifically target at certain times.
And make those calls appropriately.
Exactly. Hey, Nemesis. We were just
How you
talking
doing?
about you.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Sorry it took a little bit of time to get in here, but yeah, that was a tough game. They're not slouches. They definitely put up a good fight. That's what I expect in this game. We're all trying to be competitive and make a name, so we all gotta do our part. So kudos to them because they did an awesome job fighting. Can't take anything away from them. Shout out to the team. We all pulled together, like Stoner said. We found out what we need to adjust. We adjusted it and executed, and that's all we can ask for in the game, personally. Shout out to Integrity because that was a clutch catch at the end. It took all of us to kind of pull that one together. So, it's a team sport at the end of the day. So we have to understand where our weak spots are and just be team players and adjust to that.
Sure. I think today kind of exemplified that in all the games that we've seen, that adjustment is kind of the key here, right? Being able
Yep.
to, as a team, collectively on the fly, adjust and react to the opposing team and the things that they're doing in order to change the outcome of the match in your favor. And I think a lot of teams really came out there, including you guys, and kind of showed that the ability to kind of do that. So
Yeah, I'm glad that this is the game. I think this is the game that's making Thestrals make a name for themselves. Like, seriously though.
I
Definitely,
think so.
definitely.
Yeah.
I don't hear a lot about Thestrals, but now I'm expecting it.
With that kind of in mind, is so moving forward from this match, you've got plenty of other teams that you're going to go up against, but looking at the Thestrals, who are you going to keep an eye on in case you're coming up against this team again in Newts?
Ooh, Phoenixes.
No, sorry, I meant on the Thestrals roster specifically. Which player on
Oh,
there?
definitely Oof.
'Kay.
We always had an eye on Butter. We knew he was a great seeker from the beginning. I didn't see Sirius Black, but that was one that I had in mind, and Leaf Green as well. Were they not? I don't think they were on there, but
Not today. They ran Disc
definitely.
Jockey and Foo instead.
Yes. Impressed with Jockey.
he
Very
got past
happy
you
that
a
we
couple
were able
times.
to come up with an agreement on that.
Definitely. Fu as well. Fu was hanging in the wings, ready for a one-timer, ready to scoop it up and feed it to Oof or Dish Jockey. So
Who
they're
had
very-
me once or twice.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to counter what you said. I would say, yeah, Oof, Gutera, awesome keeping, and then I would just say extreme butter, like you said before, and then Fu. Looking out for
Wait
those
until
guys.
I'm completely adjusted to mouse and keyboard, though, guys. Just you wait. I've only been practicing on that recently, so.
Is
It
Stoner
feels
on his
weird, right?
keeper mouse and keyboard arc?
I'm on it, but that game was controller.
Okay.
Those games.
I know Behrman can talk from experience. He went through that same sort of transition.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had switched to keyboard mouse right before our Wind Guardians game, and embarrassingly enough, I'll admit today that I've recently discovered yet again still did not have my settings right.
Dude, the exact same thing happened to me earlier today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tux, our resident keeper, how do you feel about this?
I I mean, since I forced Berman to switch, I feel pretty good because I feel like keeping on mouse and keyboard is so much better than on controller.
It's like playing air hockey.
You have like more
Yes.
control. You can move with the mouse, you can move with AD, and yeah, it's just better. Like, hands
Tux, I'm
down.
gonna have to ask you for some settings later on.
Sure.
All right.
50-0, 100, 100
Any last comments, Bearman,
100,
that you'd like to
100?
ask this team?
on sense, on sense.
I'm all set.
Tux, do you have anything that you'd
I'm
like
all
to say
set as
to
well.
them?
Thank you for having us, guys. I really appreciate that.
I just want to say that this was some awesome games. I mean, the
Yeah.
second game you kind of made Berman and me speechless. Can't lie. But after that, yeah, I saw that you like stepped up on secret pressure, and I think I believe it was in the third match, the first snitch, that was the most intense snitch we had in the league so far. So that was pretty good.
Definitely gonna be celebrations in the Knockout Kingdom tonight.
Definitely. And
Well
if I may say
deserved.
something, I appreciate you guys for setting this up. Definitely putting a spotlight on the sport. The esport is still budding, so things like this definitely help us out for exposure, and as well as build a bigger platform for the sport. So I appreciate you guys for having us on here and doing this concert.